Moz Students, how are you? I'm very fine, thank God. Welcome to MS Aulas. My name is Arrone Macuácua, your teacher of English, and today we're going to talk about modal verbs. Well, by the end of this lesson, you will be able first to define what is modal verb, and then to identify the modal verbs, then mention modal verb rules, mention modal verb rules, and explain the uses of modal verbs. Então, até o final desta aula, vocês serão capazes de definir o conceito de modal verb, identificar os modal verbs, mencionar as regras dos modal verbs e explicar o uso dos modal verbs. So, are you ready to the lesson? Estão prontos para a aula? If you are ready, let's go. Well, first we're going to define modal verb. What do you think that's a modal verb? Take a pause on this video and try to think what can be a modal verb. What is a modal verb? Very good. If you say that the modal verb is an auxiliary verb, you're correct. That's correct. Because when we are talking about modal verbs, we are talking about a part of a large category called auxiliary verbs, and these those type of auxiliary verbs are added. They used to aid meaning. They are used to aid a meaning to another verb. They are sort of an helping verb. That's why we call them an auxiliary verb. Okay, do you understand? Those auxiliary verbs are special. Esses verbos auxiliares são especiais. Por que nós dizemos que são especiais? They are special because they follow a strict set of rules and they are used in a very specific way. Quando nós falamos dos modal verbs, estamos a falar de verbos que têm certas regras no seu uso, né? E elas são usadas em certas situações, em situações específicas. Okay? That's why we say that modal verbs are specials. So, students, let's see the list of modal verbs. I have learned about a method to never forget about modal verbs, about the list of modal verbs. Aprendi uma forma, não é? De memorizar os modal verbs. Eu acho que essa forma também pode vos ajudar. Querem aprender? Vamos lá, continuar a assistir o vídeo. We have to memorize the modal verbs. We have just to think on, there is 3M, there is 2W, there is 2C, and 2S. You have to remember that. There is 3M, 2W, 2C, and 2S. So let us see what are those. When we are talking about the 3 M's, we are talking about must, might, and may. Those are modal verbs. Must, might, and may. Let's go. Repeat after me. Must, might, may. Repitam comigo. Must, might, may. Very good. Will. Will is a special modal verbs. Do you know why? Because they have a contract. because will can be contracted. We have will and we can have apostrophe double L, for example, I'll, ok? I'll. Então, temos o will é uma forma especial porque ela pode ser contraída. E temos aí o apóstrofe e o duplo L. Então fica I'll. The same to would. Would also is a specific, or it's a special one, because we have a contract way that is formed by apostrophe and D. Apostrophe and D. Temos o apóstrofe e o D, that it can be an example. I'd. Repeat with me. I'd. I will. I'll. I would. I'd. Very good. There is can and could. There is shall and should. Okay? Take a pause in this video and try to read all the modal verbs. Pause o vídeo e leia todos os modal verbs. Very good. Now we want to talk about the rules. What are the rules of modal verbs? The first rule is that infinitive comes after modal verbs but without to. Let's see this example. I might eat some bananas. I might eat some bananas. We have here the verb, an infinitive, but without to. You see, we have here the verb and the infinitive without to. Do you see? I might eat some bananas. That is our first rule. The second rule is that modal verbs take no s in the third person. Modal verb takes no s in the third person. Let's see this example. Luar may come late today. You see, we don't have s in the modal verb. We don't have s, you see. And these modal verb cannot be changed. They don't change their form according to the personal pronoun. Elas não mudam, o modal verb não muda a sua forma de acordo com o pronome pessoal. Vocês estão a ver, por exemplo, nos verbos regulares nós acrescentamos o s. Nós acrescentamos o s para a terceira pessoa do singular. Para o modal verb nós não acrescentamos o s. Temos aqui, este nome está na terceira pessoa. Temos aqui o nome Luar e o modal verb nós não acrescentamos o s no modal verb. Do you understand? We don't add s at the end. Very good. The another rule is that in the negative sentence, modal verb are used without the auxiliary verb do or does. You see, we don't use the auxiliary verb. Por exemplo, nos verbos normais, quando queremos formar o negativo, nós usamos a palavra do, usamos o verbo auxiliar do, não é? Então, in the modal verbs, we don't use do, não usamos o do, ok? We don't use do in the modal verbs. Do you understand? Very good. Now we want to see the structures. What are the structures of modal verbs? Qual é a estrutura dos modal verbs? I'm going to teach you here 3 structures: the affirmative sentence, the negative sentence, and the interrogative sentence. Let's see that. We have here an example. I will not, I'm really sorry, we have here the example, I will not dance with you. You see, we don't have the auxiliary verb does. You see, because if we wouldn't use the auxiliary, this modal verb, we would have I don't dance, I don't dance, I don't dance panza, for example. But using the modal verb, we don't use do or does. Okay, so now let's see the structures. Affirmative sentence, we have subject, modal verb, main verb in the infinitive form plus object. Negative, we have subject, modal verb plus not. You see, we don't have does or do, we just have modal verb plus not plus main verb plus object. Interrogative sentence, we have modal verb, subject, main verb and object. And the interrogative sentence, we use the modal verb at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so it's very important to know that the modal verb can express very different meanings depending on the context. Quando nós falamos dos verbos modais, não é? Os modal verbs, eles podem expressar muitos significados, mas temos que olhar muito para o contexto, não é? E para a frase no seu todo, que é para saber que verbo, que modal verbo usar. Okay, we have to see the question has all, so that we can define which modal verb we're going to use. Okay, what we want to say, what do we want to express. Okay, so that we can choose the best modal verb, para podermos escolher o melhor modal verbs. Okay, we have might. When do we use might? We use might to show a possibility. Okay, when we want to show a possibility, we can use might. Let's see this example. She might be watching television. She might be watching television. That is a possibility. She might be watching a television. Okay, so now let's go to see may. May is used to show a possibility. For example, Akila may come late today. It's a possibility. We can use may also to show a possibility. Akila may come late today. We use also for permissions. For example, teacher, may I go out? Teacher, may I go out? Usamos também para pedir permissão, não é? Teacher, may I go out? It's a permission. We are asking for permission. Okay. We have also must. When do we use must? We use must to express an obligation. For example, we want to express some obligation. We use must. For example, you must go now. That is an obligation. You must go. You must go. That's an obligation. Okay. Also, we use to show a prohibition. For example, you're still young. You must not drink alcohol. You must not drink alcohol. Você ainda é jovem. Não pode beber bebidas alcoólicas. Não é? You must not. That is a prohibition. Okay? That is a prohibition. Do you understand? Essa é uma proibição. Nós temos aqui o must a ser usado para proibição. Ok? Will. When do we use will? We use will to express a future action. Okay? future action. For example, the president will reopen the school next week. The president will reopen because the schools now are closed. As escolas agora estão fechadas. So the president will reopen the school next week. We use this modal verb here to express a future action. We use also to promise and willingness. For example, I will give you money to buy a cake, to buy the cake to your birthday party. I will give, I'm promising to someone, I will give you money, I will give you money. Ok? I'm not giving, não estou a dar do momento, mas eu darei, é uma promessa, não é? Eu darei, eu te darei dinheiro, não é? Eu dar-te-ei dinheiro, assim que se diz no bom português, não é? Eu dar-te-ei dinheiro para comprares, o bolo para a sua festa de aniversário, para a tua festa de aniversário, não é? So, we use also to promise. I will give you money. Do you understand? Would. When do we use would? Would is used to polite question, to express a polite question. For example, would you help me with my homeworks? Would you help me with my homeworks? I'm really sorry, that is a question. It's missing a question mark here. Está a faltar um ponto de interrogação porque esta é uma palavra, é uma frase interrogativa. Está a faltar aqui um ponto de interrogação, então me desculpem que não temos um ponto final, mas sim um ponto de interrogação. We don't have this period, but we have question mark, okay? Question mark. Would you help me with my homework? It's a polite question. I'm asking to someone politely. Would you help me? Estou a pedir de forma educada. Would you help me with my homeworks? We also use would to express a desire. For example, I would like to eat a cake. I'm expressing a desire. Estou a expressar um desejo. I would like to eat a cake. Okay? I would like to eat a cake. Let's go to the next one. Can. When do we use can? We use can to show an ability. For example, I can drive a truck. Can you drive a truck? Yes, I can drive a truck. Eu posso conduzir um caminhão, não é? Eu posso, estou a mostrar uma habilidade. Então vou usar o can. Então temos que olhar sempre para a frase no seu todo, que é para podermos decidir que tipo de modal verbo usar. Que modal verbo usar assim que é. E olharmos para aquilo que nós queremos dizer. Eu aqui não estou a expressar, não é, uma ação no futuro. I'm not expressing any future action. I'm not asking for permission, but I want to show an ability. That's why I'm going to use can. And I will say, I can drive a truck. Por isso eu vou dizer o quê? Vou usar o can. I can drive a truck. We use also can to show an impossibility. For example, I can't get there on time. I can't get there on time. Não posso chegar aí a tempo, não é? I can't get there on time. That is an impossibility. Very good. We also use for request. For example, can I help you? Is that a request? Can I help you? I saw that you are starving. Estou a ver que estás aí a sofrer, então eu venho e pergunto, não é? Can I help you? Não é? Can I help you? Very good. Could. When do we use could? Class, we use could to show an past ability. Para mostrar uma habilidade no passado, não é? Uma habilidade, uma minha habilidade do passado, uma habilidade que alguém teve no passado, não é? I could run very well 2 years ago. I could run very well 2 years ago. We use could also for polite question. For example, could you call me? Could you call me, please? Could you call me? You see now we have here the question mark. Could you call me, please? Could you call me, please? Shall. When we use shall? We use shall to give an confirmation. For example, I shall meet you tomorrow. I shall dar uma confirmação. Quero dar uma confirmação, então vou usar o shall. I shall meet you tomorrow. I shall meet you tomorrow. We have also should. When do we use should? We use should to talk about, to give a recommendation. For example, you should go to the hospital. Estou a ver que você está a sofrer, está a padecer de dores, então eu digo, quero dar uma recomendação, não é? You should go to the hospital. You should go to the hospital. Ok? Você deveria ir ao hospital. É uma recomendação que estou a dar, não é? Do you understand, class? Do you understand? Doubts. Doubts. Dúvidas. Dúvidas. No doubts. Very good. Very good. So now we're going for the exercises. What are the exercises you're going to do? You're going to solve exercise number 5 in the handout. To those that don't have the handouts, I'm going to leave the handouts in this video description. Vou deixar aqui na descrição do vídeo a ficha que nós estamos a usar. A ficha que nós estamos a usar para retirar lá os nossos exercícios, ok? Vou deixar aí na descrição do vídeo. Ok, class? I'm very thankful. Estou muito grato a vocês por terem assistido esta aula. Espero que vocês tenham aprendido. I hope you have learned a lot with this lesson. Okay? And I believe now you are able to define what is a modal verb, to identify modal verb, to mention the rules of modal verb rules, and also to say, to explain when do we use the modal verbs. Okay? So I'm really thankful. That is the end. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being here and watching this video. Do not forget to like this video and share with everyone. Goodbye.